Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Dadgummit, today is Wednesday, December the 11th, 2024 for you. It is Tuesday evening. Actually, it's Tuesday night, December 10th, 2024 for us. Keep that in mind moving forward if we slip up with any today's, tomorrow's, or yesterday's. Also, keep in mind that this is transfer portal season. This is peak transfer portal season.
Yes.
What we're saying tonight, Tuesday night, might not be relative Wednesday morning. That's how quickly things change. I know all day Tuesday we were following it, and by the hour, by the minute, sometimes things were changing, visits were happening, offers were made. So, we're going to get to some questions from the corner tonight. We're going to talk transfer portal. We're going to dish out some how-about-yous. And here to do it with me, as they always are, Mr. Cole Pinkston, Sir Alan Head. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you? We are in the midst of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, corner full tilt, prospects entering every other hour. I think they set the record on Monday, right? Or 900 prospects on day one. And on the same day last year, it was only 500.
Wow. Almost doubled.
Almost doubled.
That's where we're at. That is where we're at.
Man, that's but you know what? We've talked about it before. The great thing about the portal for us is that it is hit it and quit it, man. It's over, son.
Yes.
I mean, these guys hit the portal on Monday. They're coming in for visits Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm sure that's as far as we've gotten. But
I was telling Alan, I like this better, if I'm being honest with you, because instead of trying to track the same three guys for signing day who, are going to get a deal right before signing day and then make change their mind, at least these guys are like, you pretty much know what's going to happen here. I mean,
a little bit more of a business feel than you're not worried about dad and this is pretty cut and dry.
If they're visiting, there's something to it,
right?
100%. Which that's going to be a big topic tonight, I'm sure.
Before we get to the questions from the corner, I want to remind everybody, if you want to look as good as me, feel as good as my boobs do. Actually, I got a T-shirt on underneath. Get you some Roback, baby. If you're not familiar with Roback, there's only one way to describe it. Best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Roback, they're completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable outerwear, activewear. Roback just released their new licensed game day collection, something I'm sporting right now. It's freaking awesome. Novel polo designs, clean hoodie, Q-zip designs, which I'm rocking right now. Some of your favorite schools, including Auburn. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality activewear. Roback's everyday shorts, even though it's not short season. Of course, some days it is in Alabama, even in December. They are the perfect pairing. Comfortable, have elastic waistband, great fabric. Is made to have the appearance of a nice short, like something you could wear to play tennis. But the comfort of an athletic short, also something you could wear to play tennis. Roback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge. Partnerships with several college athletes, including Caleb Downs, Quinn Ewers. Use that promo code. Listen, got a deal for you. Promo code Auburn20, Auburn20 on Roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of the week. Spelled RHOBACK.com. 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with code Auburn20. Thanks to Roback for sponsoring the show. All right, fellas, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. The portal opened Monday. We've seen offers go out. We've seen visits being set. And we could talk for an hour just off of the past 48 hours. But let's see what the members want to know. Let's get right to the questions. Question number 1, Nate Dogg, AU, excuse me. Favorite 2026 offensive line, defensive line prospects right now? Ooh. Little curveball there from the Nate Dogg.
That's totally off topic. I like it. Well, it is not off topic, but you know what I mean.
Let's blame Zach in the back for that one. Yeah.
We blame you, Zach.
Well, I know who my D lineman is. I love this guy. I think he's really, really good. I think Auburn's got a great shot with him. Bryce Perry Wright.
You got Bryce Perry Wright. You got Bodney Cleveland. You got Aiden and Harris and brother Harris. And, man, I'm going to be honest with you, Nate Dogg. I'm still on 2025, dude. I'll turn that corner that first big junior day. But right now, I'm just – it's all transfer portal and cleaning up any 2025 that's left over.
I'm with you, Jeffrey, and I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even hear the question the correct way. I was looking at my transfer portal list of offensive and defensive linemen, and then I caught Cole. I was like, oh, wait a minute. He actually read the question. So
I was surprised I didn't get a reaction out of Bryce Perry Wright. I was like, oh, okay, you don't like Bryce then.
no, love Bryce Perry, right? But I'm with Jeffrey. My mind is so one track right now with trying to just get a hold of everything that's going on with the portal visits, impact players, and kind of how they're looking to layer the depth. I really am in my roster management kind of mode right now.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get a better picture of what they're trying to accomplish. But again, I think as we get to the turn of the new year, the portal closes, and that first big junior day is on the horizon. Absolutely, we're going to have a much better feel for what they're trying to accomplish and who we really like in that class.
Yep. I honestly can't even think of offensive linemen.
I've been keeping up with it a little bit. I'm starting to veer into it.
You would know.
Bryce Perry Wright's the one that stands out to me. Listen, I'm a sucker for undersized D linemen that get after it because I think they have natural leverage. I know how that is. I was an undersized D lineman. Zach knows as an offensive lineman, you hate those guys. They're pesky, right? I feel like Bryce Perry Wright's a little undersized as far as height goes. He's filling out pretty well his frame, but those are the kind of guys I like, man. That's why I like Darion Smith that they picked up. They present a new challenge when you've gone against these big, heavy guys. So I love Bryce Perry Wright. I love Titan Davis. Y'all are gonna remember that name.
Yes, I know Titan Davis.
St. Louis. Titan Davis, that's the D lineman. I think he's on Auburn's radar. And then Emmanuel Iheanacho is the offensive lineman for sure.
There you go. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
NJ13, portal quarterbacks, tier 1 on Auburn's board, fellas. Tier 1 quarterbacks, transfer portal quarterbacks on Auburn's board. The Duke kid.
Let's describe what tier 1 means to you.
Okay.
And for me, tier 1 is a turnkey starter that walks in with accolades that match his talent ceiling, right?
Expected starter.
Correct. It's a Cam Ward. It's a Riley Leonard. And I don't know that player exists in the portal right now. Malik Murphy is probably the closest to that, right?
Yeah. And here's what I'm looking at, Alan, is like I told you, I didn't think Caden Salter was a good fit to be the QB2, and I certainly didn't think he was a QB1. But he's got 1 year left. But 1 year guys, especially at a starter for Duke, he's not looking to come here and be QB2. He's looking to be not promised, but almost guaranteed the starting shot.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So, do you think Jackson Arnold is that? I don't think so. I don't.
Does he have the talent ceiling to be a QB1? Absolutely. Like if you watch some of the wild throws and the arm talent that he has, the physical tools, it's all there. But what you saw is a guy that had some issues with decision making this year. And I think a large part of that was some of the offensive system around him, the lack of weapons at times, the inconsistency with the offensive coordinator that they fired in the middle of the year. Like there was a lot there to that situation. But you didn't see the production on the field to match what you necessarily saw with his high school evaluation. And so you have some questions and understand that there's some development that's going to have to transpire if he comes into Auburn. That doesn't mean to me, though, he's a bad pick. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me read off some stats to you. Let's play Pepsi Challenge, okay? And I'm going to give you some stats, and you tell me the quarterback.
Brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
Oh, no, not the Dr. Pepper throwing the ball thing. That nothing makes me more angry.
That's a bad look for DP. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, anyway.
Hey, the announcer got me through it.
Oh, but, I can't watch it. I can't watch it. Go ahead.
65.4% completion percentage, 2,380 yards, 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's Jaden Daniels last season at Arizona State before he goes to LSU, lights the world on fire. And is now he's probably rookie of the year in the NFL.
Did he win the Heisman?
He sure did.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, he was his ratio, touchdown interception ratio was 1-to-1.
Yes.
Next year he won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Next set of stats, 55.6% completion percentage, 1,220 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6 INTs.
Jeez.
Okay.
That's Haynes King's last year at Texas A&M.
That sounds right.
So my point is, these are guys with immensely high ceilings that just didn't reach where they were at their previous stop. So you have to look into the transitive property aspect of it. Sit down with that prospect. Know what their football IQ is. How much ball do they know? Put them on the chalkboard. Get a good feel for their personality. How hard can they be coached? And then do they fit in your overall scheme and objective? Now, he's a heavy eval, right? Like you got to really believe he's the guy. I think if you're Auburn, given this situation right now, can he get you to 7-5 next year? I think he got a less talented Oklahoma offense to 6-6, which makes me believe he can get Hugh above that 7-5 mark, which is what I think he needs to float into the following year. I think he's got to be well above 500. And Jackson Arnold has that kind of ceiling, but again, it's a heavy eval, right?
Yeah. The way I read this question for tier 1, right? If they're bringing them in on a visit, and I even include Ashton Daniels in that, right? They're up there. They're important. Maybe they're not all tier 1 that they're bringing in, but they're important as far as Auburn's board goes. That's the way I'm reading this. So in that case, Jackson Arnold, Malik Murphy, Ashton Daniels are very high of importance on Auburn's board.
Yeah.
Tier 1, if you're asking from a talent standpoint, if that's what the question is geared towards, Malik Murphy is the most talented, I think. I think he's got the best arm. But that's not necessarily what I don't think that's what they're going for exactly, the best arm. You know, I think they're going for the best fit, like you said, and I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe there's more questions geared towards that, but that's an interesting debate.
I will say this on my transfer portal target tracker that I released the first edition on Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday.
Yep.
I will update it Wednesday morning. Already been updating. I've got 3 quarterbacks listed and 3 quarterbacks that are visiting. Ashton Daniels. I firmly believe he is the QB2 that Auburn is looking for.
Yes.
QB2 who's going to get a shot to compete for QB1. I'm not saying he's the QB1 slot. The only person I see right now in what I believe Auburn is looking for is that turnkey starter. I just don't think Jackson Arnold is that guy. He could be, but I don't think Hugh Freeze is in a position to roll the dice again. I think he's got to get a proven, experienced P4 starter. That's where Malik Murphy comes in, and he is the only one on that board I think is your tier 1 guy. That's the only one I know of, or at least that's my opinion. I think Jackson Arnold, again, and if you could get a Malik Murphy, now you've got Malik Murphy, you've got Ashton Daniels, you've got 2 veteran, experienced, seasoned signal callers in that room full of babies. You don't need another sophomore, another freshman like Jackson Arnold. Don't get me wrong. He could end up being, he's a 5-star plus guy. He's got high ceiling, but I just don't see him being tier 1. I think that tier 1 is going to have experience. I think he's going to be seasoned, veteran, ready to play.
The most interesting thing about Jackson Arnold to me, and I know we'll move on because we're getting off the question a little bit, but when Oklahoma was in its worst shape, I think was when they played Auburn. I think they had the most people out that week.
Yeah.
And who did Oklahoma go with at quarterback? Michael Hawkins.
It wasn't Jackson Arnold.
Now, they were missing 6-7 receivers, something like that week. They found a way to beat Auburn with the guy that runs a little bit better.
They let Auburn beat themselves.
I don't know all of the details of the benching of Jackson Arnold. Okay, I don't want to insinuate anything, but it is interesting that when they were down as bad as they were, they went with that guy to see if he could. You know, obviously the first drive of the game, he takes it 45 yards on a scramble for a touchdown. They thought that was a better bet than putting Arnold in that situation. Now, the question you have to ask is Auburn's situation on offense going to be better? Because it wasn't good this past year. You know?
I agree with what you're saying about Hawkins, but they did go back to Arnold. It's not like they stuck. It's not like they stuck with him. And I don't know that they necessarily improved from a personnel standpoint all that much throughout the year. I mean, they literally didn't have their top 6 wide receivers and fired their OC because their offense was so defunct in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So it was not a good situation all the way around. And I do think probably what happened is that Jackson Arnold just looked so uncomfortable in that Tennessee game the week before Auburn that they decided, okay, Michael Hawkins gives us a spark. We're going to ride it. Very similar to what we did
with Hank.
And we ended up going back to Peyton. And I thought that going back to Peyton was the right call. Honestly, I felt like he was the more sure thing as far as from a predictability standpoint of knowing what you were going to get, consistency standpoint, week in, week out.
Absolutely. And the question I'm asking is that situation something you might want to risk being in again?
I don't know. Again, it's how you're right.
I'm not saying it will be that way. It's just a question.
No, I'm with you, because here's the thing. Neither you nor I nor Jeffrey nor Zach will be in those meetings when those quarterbacks come in, and you get an opportunity to sit down and find out what they're made of, right? Do they have something to them? That's what you need to know, right? When push comes to shove, do they have a little shit to them, right? You know what I mean? Where they're going to buck up and put this team on their back and not be, a little bit frayed because you're running into some adversity during the year. Auburn's got to have a leader in that room. As much as you need that turnkey blue chip starter, you also need a leader at that position and a player that guys are going to follow, and somebody's not going to fade just because things aren't playing their way or because they didn't get the money they wanted in the NIL deal.
Right.
That's a big part of it.
Huge.
WTE 1026. Who are the top O-line portal guys we are after right now? Got 2 guys listed on the transfer portal target tracker in Wendell Moe and Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson will be in Auburn on Wednesday, Wendell Moe on Friday. There's some other guys, Cole, specifically that you're tracking, keeping an eye on. Who are some of these other guys besides Moe and Thompson?
Yeah, one guy, I believe Justin talked about him, was transfer from
Sampson from North Carolina.
Yep,
there you go.
Can't even think of his first name right. Howard Sampson, I believe is his name. There's a couple other. There's a lot. There's a Virginia Tech offensive tackle that I think Auburn's got interest in. Xavier.
Let's see. Here we go.
Names.
Howard Sampson. Then you've got Xavier Chaplin.
Yes,
Chaplin. That's it.
His price tag is out there, and it's insane, man.
Oh, really?
$1.5 million is the asking price.
He's good.
That's just not a lot of tackles in the portal, man.
And that's why.
What about Jeffrey? What about Mac Pounders?
Okay. His agents reached out and said that Auburn had contacted. I don't know how much I believe them.
Generating interest, man.
Because I know Mac.
Target last year.
And I know Mac. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I know him from last year. And he kind of replied back. I said, I hit them all. And the agents were, Auburn's contacted. And then Mac, about an hour later, was like, no. If I do hear from him, I'll let you know.
Sure. And it's an agent's job to generate interest, right?
Yeah.
We see it all the time. You're trying to position your client to make sure that they can maximize what's available to them. But Mac's a guy to me that doesn't necessarily fit what Auburn's looking for, because he was a kid that started, I think, his first 4 games at Mississippi State, got benched, and then came back in as a rotational player. And I'm not saying he wouldn't be some added value as a depth piece, but Auburn needs a left tackle that can come in and be plug and play. There's also a kid at Kansas State I think they like a good bit, but he's more of a right tackle.
Carver Willis.
Yes. And I think if you get Dylan Wade back and say you project him inside, he makes a lot of sense. But if you're projecting Dylan Wade at right tackle, I don't know how heavily you're going to pursue that young man. And realistically, I've gotten a lot of questions about why is Auburn recruiting so many interior guys, or we need more tackles. Well, you've got guys with some portability. and you're taking the best prospect you can get to create competition. Because of a guy like Dylan Wade, you can play him inside, you can play him outside. If I can get a guard to come in that's makes my offensive line significantly better, great. If I get a right tackle that can come in and make my line better, great. I'm going to shift Dylan Wade inside if I can get him to come back.
That's why I don't think, don't forget Josh Thompson played right tackle. He can play it.
I like Josh Thompson a lot. And I actually have a feeling that Auburn's going to have a real good shot with him when he visits on Wednesday. So,
which would be huge.
Yeah, I think Auburn's in good shape there going into that visit. We'll see if he makes it to his others. You know how it is. If they get on that first visit,
yeah,
sometimes it's over. Sometimes they take.
And one of the things Auburn's got, I mean, you've got potentially Jeremiah Wright, Connor Lew, Dylan Wade all coming back.
Potentially, yes.
So now you're looking for a right tackle. You're looking for a left tackle. And let's don't forget about the guys they have on. You still got, is it TJ Johnson?
Yes, TJ Johnson.
You got Favor Edwin down there.
Yes.
So Seth Wilfred is a guy.
Seth Wilfred. Yeah. You just brought in Brody Scholl.
Yep.
Who's the tackle they signed last year out of the portal? It was Ronan Chambers. Is he even on the team anymore?
No, he graduated.
How long ago?
5 days ago.
Okay. Did he ever play?
He was a reserve. He got in every once in a while. He didn't play.
Alabama A&M game.
Okay.
He
when somebody needed some water, he ran in.
He got in real early in the Louisiana Monroe game because I pointed out to Justin. I was like, "There's Ronan Chambers at right tackle." I don't remember why. I think Miller was off and on an injury, and he was the next guy up. It looked like at right tackle.
Okay.
So,
well, maybe that's what they recruited him to do.
It is. I mean, he was an emergency depth piece that wouldn't make you play Favor Edwin before he was ready to play, right?
Yeah.
Only thing that this year the difference is in left tackle is that you can't make the same mistake you made with Percy Lewis.
No. Yeah. Great point, right? Auburn went with a couple guys last year, and particularly Miller and Height. They went potential over production. I think this year, if you look at the guys Auburn has targeted, every one of them are either multi-year starters, like across the lines of scrimmage, or high production guys at their previous place. They're looking for high floor pieces in the class, not necessarily looking to maximize like, oh, this guy, he was a 5-star and he just needs our coaching and he's going to live up to that billing. And they want to see what you've done in college at this point. We know what you are, and we're bringing you in to do that.
I think Josh Thompson slots in pretty good at that right tackle if they need that. And then you got Wendell Moe coming in, which I find that pretty interesting. He's a guard all the way, 6'2", 340. That's the body type you're working with there. That's a guard. So
do you think they're recruiting him as almost an insurance piece? Because it's not a foregone conclusion that Jeremiah's coming back. He's going to test the waters. I would imagine Dylan's going to do the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You have to prepare for anything. I mean, Wendell Moe's, I've been keeping up with him and his offers. It looks like he's going to be pretty popular in the portal if he takes more visits after Auburn. So these are some good pieces they're looking at. I think these guys are
pretty too.
Quality. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about in Wendell Moe, you're talking about a 2-year starter at Arizona that really in 2023, he had a great year. Last year, I mean, that whole Arizona offense was kind of defunct, man. I mean, it wasn't the same after they lost their head coach to Washington.
Yeah.
Let's see what old Teddy White Westside wants to know. In your opinion, who are Auburn's top 3 targets in the transfer portal as it stands now? It stands now. Well, first, we'll name top targets to me is biggest need positions and who is the top target at that position. So you're going to look at quarterback. Right now, I would say it's Malik Murphy. You're looking at left tackle. As it stands now, we don't really have anybody.
No, not like foolproof. Like we know for sure this guy's going to be you have to think there needs to be a mutual interest for us to go, okay, yeah, that's
right. He may visit. Auburn's communicating he might visit. I haven't heard anything. who's a true left tackle.
Right. Eric Singleton's.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to go a little bit differently here because Malik Murphy's so new to the board. I know they like him, right? They wouldn't be bringing him in for a visit if they didn't. I just don't know how I label top target on him without more information.
Okay.
But I'm with you on Singleton. I also think the running back from Louisiana Monroe,
Hardy.
Yes, definitely a top target without question.
Yeah.
And I think Kleb Lubin, the edge.
That guy's impressive. He is very impressive.
Yeah, dude.
Is
you
he
talk about production?
He played at Iowa Western with Bobby Travis, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was interesting, man. These are some guys that are really reporting offers like fast. And boom, they're visiting Auburn. Boom, it's going to be this week. That's big.
He's fired up too, man. I've been talking with him.
Look, he's somebody to be fired up about. I mean, when I took a peek at his cut ups, I was like, "Whoo, that is what you need." If you're Auburn, you're losing. I mean, you're losing an extremely productive player at that edge position, and a guy.
He reminds me of him.
Yes, pound for pound.
They like that type. There's no doubt.
I mean, there wasn't a more impressive player to me these last 2 years than him. And so to get a carbon copy.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about McLeod, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I should have said the name. But, yeah, definitely talking about McLeod here. And I love the kid, too. I mean, just a solid kid.
Is Coastal – are they in the Sun Belt?
Yes.
Yeah. That would line up perfectly. I mean, you've gotten Jalen McLeod from the Sun Belt. You've gotten Kieran Crawford now from the Sun Belt. Why not one more? That seems to be the farm.
And he has 2 years left.
He does. So he slots in perfectly where you need him because Joe Phillips comes in behind him. And then you've obviously got J.J. Falk, who I think will slot in also at that position eventually.
Don't forget about Jamonte Waller.
Jamonte Waller, too. Yes, still there. Even though coming off injury, I'm expecting more from him come spring, or at least a better look at what he's capable of in spring.
Yeah, they got some guys, some prospects there for sure.
He's one. He would so top targets. I would be a quarterback.
Yes,
right now it's Malik. Eric Singleton's going to be on there. Ahmad Hardy's going to be on there, like you said. Kleb Lubin.
Besides,
Kleb Lubin, what's his name? Lubin.
Kleb Lubin.
Kleb Lubin. I'm gonna have that down to Panama City one night.
Obviously, quarterback.
He slid that one in clean, dude.
He got me though. He did.
Yeah, he did.
Quarterback is whoever that may be. That's going to be the number one overall.
Sure.
I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah,
I feel like Eric Singleton's number one right now. Before we know who the quarterback is, might be whatever. That's number one.
He's ranked in the top 10 players of the entire portal list right now, I think.
Number one wide receiver.
So he's absolutely a priority target.
He's important.
Carter Man transitions right into this one. Who provides more of a splash impact next year? Eric Singleton, should Auburn land him, or Perry Thompson? I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's Eric Singleton.
It's Eric Singleton. And you know what? I got to thinking about this. Auburn's pitch to these transfer guys, wide receivers, is look at who our quarterback was, and still look at Dre Lambert's stats. Look at what we did with him.
Almost 1,000-yard receiver. All the issues Auburn had this year, he still almost had 1,000 yards, and Cam Coleman was up over 600. Okay. All right, and now you're talking about Cam Coleman with a year's worth of development, knows the system that you're going to be utilizing. And now all you have to do is be that other piece. Throw in a transfer.
Is Eric an outside guy, or is he a slot guy?
He's got some versatility. Yeah.
Okay.
You want.
I think
he's like 5'11", right?
Yes, 5'11-ish, but has enough strength to get off the line. If you're going to be playing him outside, he's a willing blocker, which surprised me when I kind of watched at that size. I mean, he's 5'11", like 180. you wouldn't think he'd get after it in the run game, but he does. He's a willing blocker and a guy that shows enough twitch on the outside that he can create for himself. He doesn't have to be in the slot where he has that space in between him and a defensive back.
He's really like, well, I remember watching his highlights in high school, and I couldn't believe Auburn didn't take him. I mean, I had a prediction in for Auburn to get Eric Singleton.
Was that the year? Yeah, you did, didn't you, Cole?
I did. He left. I talked to him. I don't know if you were there. I can't remember what. I definitely talked to him, and I thought, that's over.
Done deal.
Done deal. Let's put in a pick on that one, and then just fell off. I don't know. I really don't have much of an explanation on what happened there, but Auburn decided they were good, I guess.
They were going to use that spot for the portal, and that's the year they brought in Mick Marner and Jair Shorter and Robert Louis Stevenson.
No, it wasn't him. It was Nick Marner and Jair Shorter, Shane Hooks.
And
there's another one.
Yeah, the kid that came over from Ohio State that's now off the team. Caleb Burton.
Yes.
You think they look back at that and think, man, we really messed that up.
Well, you know what? It was I don't want to keep saying it like I'm taking a shot at that because I'm not. I mean, Freeze had been there for a month, if that.
Right.
They were trying to figure things out. Okay. How are they going to even go about it? And they just decided to keep some numbers down on high school so they could get in the portal because they knew the rebuild was ridiculous. It was.
Sure. No, and I don't fault them for the decision because in real time, that was a very difficult decision to make, right?
Yeah,
do I take a guy who I think is a high potential player, but I don't know what he is? Or do I take a more defined prospect and I have a set level of expectation of what I'm going to get?
Yeah.
So I completely understand the thought process there. I just think every coach keeps a list like, God, dude, I wish I had just pushed this. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course. You can't help it. You keep tabs on the guys that you were real close to taking or almost getting, and you're like, oh, man. But what I was going to say about watching him in high school, he had like a running back-like skill set almost.
Yes.
With the ball in his hands. And then, I mean, you watch Georgia Tech, they give him the jet sweeps and stuff like that, and he'll take the top off. I mean, look, he's that kind of guy. He's just good with the ball in his hands. Kind of like a Derek Smith in a way. Just put the ball in his hands. You know?
Let's see. Hey, before we get to question 6, Cole, Auburn's season is over with, but the playoffs continues. And if somebody's looking for tickets to get to those games, maybe it's time they look at Game Time.
You need to. You need to look at Game Time. You need to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. They'll do it for you. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Or if you're a dinosaur, you go to gametime.co, not com, co. Things you can get on Game Time: lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, 24-hour returns, job loss assurance. That's on there. On-time ticket delivery, if you still do it that way. So create your account, redeem your code, $20 off with the code ON3, on3. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game Time.
That's right.
All right, Pinu. Or is that just new? 02. Obviously, you want a veteran to immediately be the starter, but is there a scenario where Walker or Deuce flat out wins the job? Of course, there's a scenario.
Sure.
Look,
when you're Hugh Freeze in year 3, you're going to play the best quarterback that gives you the chance to win. And if it happens to be one of the young guys, that's who he's going to roll with. Would I expect that? Absolutely not.
Neither does he.
No.
That's why we're covering quarterback recruiting. But, I mean, they would have to be sensational.
Sure.
True freshman, redshirt freshman. I'm not saying it's never been done, but that is there's a scenario, but it is highly unlikely. Highly unlikely that they win the job. And to be honest with you, you hope whoever the 2 transfer quarterbacks they bring in, you hope that they can beat out 2 freshmen, because if they can't, you're in for a long season.
Agreed.
Typically you're in for a long season.
Yeah.
All right, Robert Dale 1, not to be confused with Robert Dale 11. Hey, how was Auburn looking with Tank Jones, Anthony Tank Jones, the 5-star edge from Mobile, Cedarian Morgan, 4 or 5-star wide receiver from Benjamin Russell, and Landon Duckworth, the 4-star quarterback, I think, from Jackson, Alabama. Cole, you're our 2026 guru.
Tank Jones, I mentioned another that's 5-star edge from St. Paul's. Definitely, I feel like this is going to be your classic Iron Bowl battle, Auburn, Alabama. LSU's in the mix too, but I really feel like he's going to be an in-state battle there. So I don't know who has the edge right now. It's too early to say. I think he's going to take his time. I don't give anybody the edge. Maybe Alabama slightly, but I think Auburn's right there. So
sure.
CD Morgan, I have a pick in for him to Auburn, but I don't know how to feel about it right now. I think he is exploring all of his options. I don't think he's just an in-state guy. Ohio State was pretty high on his list.
Okay.
So, we'll see how that plays out. I think Florida's starting to move up his list. He's going to be a hot commodity. He's got a big, catch radius, a lot of skills, a lot of speed, he's the exact guy. I think I made a post 3 years ago when I saw him for the first time. This is your future Hugh Freeze receiver right here. This is the guy that he wants. I can go ahead and confirm that. So we'll see how that one plays out. I think Auburn's in good shape, though, especially as long as you got Malcolm Simmons, former teammate. Landon Duckworth is new on our radar. We need to get to know him a little bit. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Was committed to South Carolina.
Yes.
Tall kid, Jackson, Alabama, small school, state champion.
Yeah, dare I say Deuce-like.
Yes.
Oh, very much so.
Very live arm, great athlete. Interesting prospect. Very, what I would call toolsy, I think is how I would describe him.
Very. He's got a big arm.
Yes.
Yeah, so Auburn likes him. We know that.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Fresh off of signing day, guys, remember how it was almost last week. It was almost like throw everything out the window for the past 11 and a half months. What happens in the next 3 days or whatever it was a week ago is what really matters, right?
Yes.
These are, I would imagine, Tank Jones and CD Morgan are going to be those guys, whether they commit to Ohio State next week, to Oregon next week, to Auburn next week, to Alabama next week. It's not going to matter. We're not going to know anything on those guys until December the 3rd, 2025.
Down to the wire.
Right.
And who's giving them the Nike shoe deal, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wanted to say on Duckworth, I think the timing of that offer is very interesting. It says a lot to me. So you don't offer him early in the process, but they've offered several quarterbacks. So they were obviously monitoring him, but weren't sure what to do with him yet. Well, now that they might have an idea of what they're going to do in the portal and possibly bring 2 quarterbacks in with more than 1 year, they go, okay, he's got tools. That makes sense. Let's do it.
No, I'm with you. And typically this late in the process, if you're getting an offer, even when you said timing, I thought that was perfect because if they're offering you this late, they like you. They don't F around and just offer anybody at this point in the season, particularly on the quarterback board. With other places, no, it's more developmental, but quarterbacks, they know. And if they want to get in on you, that's exactly what they're going to do is put an offer in right now if they haven't already.
Right.
JFD Triple Ought 2. What positions must Auburn address in the portal to win 7 games in 2025?
Ooh, quarterback and left tackle for sure.
Yeah, all of them.
Running back, tight end.
Yes.
Another wide receiver, another cornerback.
Yes. Safety.
Buck.
Yes. I mean, you've got to address them all. Like you cannot roll into the season the way your roster is now and to have an expectation of anything more than 6 wins, in my honest opinion.
I'll ask you, going off this question, what are the top 3 positions of need if you get one guy, like, I guess, pay your most money for this one guy at this position? What 3 positions do you go for?
Quarterback.
I wrote an article on this, but has it changed any? I guess is what I'm asking.
QB, LT.
Running back.
What about linebacker?
Oh, God, that's a good one, man, because you've got some really talented young kids, but damn, you need some leadership in that room.
You just want that one veteran in the middle, right? Just to get you through. and then a Melendez might take over, or DJ Barber or something. But you want that this year. You got to bridge that gap. That's one of those positions, right?
I'd like to hear more about Barber in the spring. I'd like to hear his name being
I agree.
mentioned a little bit more.
Because I didn't hear it at all this fall.
I didn't either. I agree.
Did not hear him. But yeah, a lot of positions to be addressed in this portal. And if you looked at the tracker, Cole's mine, the target tracker, you'll know that we're expecting a heavy and a very big portal class.
Well, you get the right combination of portal guys with what you've already brought in now from high school. The two classes you're stacking on top of each other, you get a nice little portal class, and you know how you want to approach it this time. That's where you might can really hit on it and get the roster the right way this year.
What are you thinking numbers wise? Like 12 to 14, I think, from the portal probably.
I was thinking 10 to 12 in this window.
And then save some spots if you need to.
5 in the next one.
Man, I got up to 15 on my numbers. Let me think about this. 2 QBs.
Yes.
One running back.
Yes.
1 tight end.
Yes.
2 receivers.
Yes.
3 offensive linemen.
Yep. You're running out of fingers and toes, bro.
Now we're going to defense. So that's 9 on offense. You're looking
at I was saying defensive line. I mean,
okay.
They're going to bring in Dallas Walker and James Thompson. I think they're trying to get him in the Wisconsin guys. So
that's 2 defensive linemen. A buck is 3.
Yes.
A linebacker is 4. A cornerback is 5. A safety is 6.
Yeah.
So that's 15 right there.
And look, I'll be honest with you. I think they may take another tight end before it's all said and done. I think they may take 2. I think they may take 2 linebackers.
I'm telling you,
which
15,
means
give or take
15 to 17, which means they're going to have to create some more attrition too.
Because there's 11 spots left, 74
at the moment. Yeah.
To be fair, they had a better season when they brought in 25 guys, didn't they? From the portal. It went much better.
It went to a bowl.
and got smoked.
The roster, aside from that 20 they brought in, was nowhere near what it is now.
No.
Right.
Would it shock you if they brought in a specialist, like a kicker?
No, they got it.
Not at all.
They have
not
to.
At all. Now you're looking at 16.
Now, can you get one of those guys without a scholarship? And that's what you know.
Yeah. Even if you just give them enough NIL to cover a scholarship.
Yes. And eventually they're going to be on the 105 when they get to that. It's just not happening this year. They delayed it for 1 season.
Man, there's several people on the board who would argue kickers in the top 3.
Oh, come on now.
I'm telling you, I wrote the story.
Of course they would. Of course they would. I mean,
you didn't say
kicker, don't get me wrong.
No, I mean, you don't want to be – Auburn has been spoiled.
You're
they
right.
Have
absolutely spoiled.
They have.
I cannot remember a year like this ever.
No.
Not in my lifetime, I don't think.
Bless that poor kid. I mean, he just – true freshman.
Yeah.
Didn't even have a chance to redshirt. You know what I mean?
Was Alex a true freshman when he went 21 for 21?
He was a redshirt.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. But hey, this is a great point. This is why you don't want, and I don't think Towns missed a freaking field goal in high school. I mean, he was
excellent. He was excellent in high school.
And so this is why you don't want true freshmen in pressure situations and pressure positions like quarterback, kicker. This is why you don't want them out there.
Or in front of a microphone. But anyway.
Oh. It took me a minute. It took me a minute.
Was Wes Bauer a freshman when he did the Gator jump?
I don't know if he was a red shirt.
Red shirt freshman, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting study there, Alan. I hadn't thought about that.
The Pat McAfee of Auburn kickers right there, man.
Yes, sir, dude. Out there, Gator chomp with no shoe on. He kicked that thing barefoot, son.
Oh, let's see. Hughes Indeed ad. What does that mean? Does anybody know?
I don't know, man.
I don't want to speculate. It could be very simple, but it lends towards being not.
Indeed. Ad. Indeed. I don't know. Anyways, this is a good question. How many of next year's starters do you think will come out of this portal plus high school class?
Oh, wow.
So you're looking at returning starters.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. I was a little unprofessional there for a
yeah.
minute.
Here we go.
Okay.
No. Okay. Let's start with the high school class. Do y'all expect any starters to come from that group?
Starters?
Maybe Fagans.
Maybe
Yeah.
Fagans.
Fagans is the one to me that jumps out.
But he's got to beat out Caleb Harris, right?
No, because you lost the other. You lost Jared Thompson. So
There you go. Yep.
Are we counting rotational, like key rotation, like if defensive line rolls with 6 guys most of the time?
Do you think at the end of next year, this person will have a starter game started by his belt on his roster?
I tell you, I would not have picked Malik Blockton last year, and he definitely did start a game or two.
Well, in that vein, your young man from Parker, I mean, he's as ready to made a defensive lineman as you're ever going to see.
Yes.
So possibly him and Fagans are the two to me that jump out. Maybe Melendez, if somebody doesn't take a step forward at linebacker, that's a possibility. Just because from a physical standpoint, he comes in ready to play. Offensively, no. I mean, I just think you just acquired a ton of really top-notch young talent. But they're going to all get an opportunity to, they're not going to be forced into it like this past year's class. This past year's class had to learn baptism by fire, man. I mean, it was a lot on them.
Yeah, it was.
You're thinking Auburn's going into the transfer portal for a starter at quarterback. You think
Yes.
they're going in there for a starter at tight end?
Yes. Well, at one of your tight end spots,
Yeah.
right? Because I think Brandon will probably start.
Yeah, boy, that's a big piece.
So Frazier will probably start for you at your classic Y tight end, but your flex tight end, the Rivaldo position. Yeah, I mean, and Bauer again, that's another guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a top end target, and he's a fit.
He fits that. Might even be more dynamic as like a route runner and all that too.
Mm-hmm.
Just overall, he's a perfect fit for Auburn's offense. Bauer Sharp.
He probably he almost reminds me a little bit of what you got from John Samuel Schenker, and people might laugh at that, but listen, John Samuel Schenker was a baller, son.
Hell yeah, he was.
I would say better football player than Rivaldo, not as good of an athlete. That's kind of the trade-off, right?
Fair. Yeah. W. Tidwell 5-1. So, anyways, back to that question. Probably 5 or 6. You're looking at a starter left tackle. You're looking for a starter tight end. Probably 5 or 6 of the 22 will come from this class.
Sure.
W. Tidwell 5-1. When doing evaluations for transfer portal guys, do you think the level of competition matters to this staff, or is it overall production? I'm guessing a little bit of everything.
It matters, but it's not the end all be all either.
I think it's position. It's positional. I think with the trenches, it matters maybe a little bit more than I feel like it does in that regard.
Yeah, he's got these pancakes and cockroaches, but who are they against?
I think
what did it look like when he went against the P4, homecoming game?
At quarterback, it matters, I think, immensely. But Auburn's not targeting a guy from the Group of 5 level at this point, other than John Mateer. And Mateer's
not even about him.
Mateer's not even in the portal, but that's because I think everybody in the industry thinks he's lock key to, to Oklahoma at this point if he gets into the portal.
You remember the cockroaches, don't you?
Yeah, I was wondering where that reference was coming from. Actually,
when I used to do stats, it's Randolph Leader, the high school stats.
Yeah,
the coaches would say he had 3 pancakes, 2 cockroaches, and I was like, "What the hell's a cockroach?" It's when the guy's on his back.
Yep.
Like, yep. Those are that's a good one there when you get one of those.
Hey, before we go, let's pull up the visit list. Now we've got as of Tuesday night, we've got several guys confirmed for visiting this week.
Yeah,
we're going to start with Wednesday. Thursday, we've got people coming in. Friday, we got people coming in. So this is how we have. First up, you've got 5 guys expected on Wednesday, which includes Jackson Arnold. No, that's Thursday.
Yep.
Here's Wednesday. Malik Murphy, bringing the big dog in from Duke, according to Justin Hokanson. Malik Murphy will be in Auburn on Wednesday. Darrell Robinson, really talented, soon-to-be sophomore from St. Francis Academy via UConn. Really good running back. Yeah. But look at you got some dogs coming in Wednesday. Malik Murphy, Darrell Robinson, Eric Singleton, Josh Thompson.
This is what I wanted to ask y'all. Let's say that Auburn hits it off with Darrell Robinson, and he's a St. Francis guy, right? A lot of things lining up there for him to potentially land in this portal class.
Sure.
Do they stop there?
No.
I don't think so either. They're going to
You
get
can't turn down Hardy.
No. But I think there's other backs out there that they're looking at pretty hard.
What Fluff Batwell, I think, from
Yeah,
USA.
Boswell, there's a couple other guys too that I'm sort of tracking.
And let's don't forget about Omar Mapson, the high school kid from Auburn High School who reclassified to 2025. I fully expect him to be maybe to join Alvin Henderson in the 2025 class come February.
I'm trying to get a round turn on that one, man. Like this, it's a hard read right now because I think what happens in the portal will dictate his spot in the class, but I don't know that either. I mean, he could have a guarantee spot.
I think he does.
Okay.
Speaking of St. Francis guys, as we're recording this, Mississippi State quarterback Michael Van Buren has announced his plans to enter the portal.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Speaking of Mississippi State, let's see if Jackson Arnold shows up Thursday, because one day after these guys leave, or actually they might leave Thursday.
It's crazy how many they've loaded up here.
You got 5 right now scheduled to be in on Thursday. Jackson Arnold is right now scheduled to be here. That might change before the show comes out, but as of right now, he is scheduled to be in Auburn on Thursday. Again, according to Justin Hokanson. Dallas Walker, defensive lineman from
Tennessee originally.
Western Kentucky. Yeah, Western Kentucky.
Signed with A&M out of high school.
Yes, so familiarity with DJ Durkin.
Yep, there you go. According to Steve Wiltfong, he reported that Cleb Lubin, the guy we were talking about earlier, the edge from Coastal Carolina, Zechariah.
You know Lubin might be pretty high for me, Jeffrey, on my list of guys I like.
Welcome to the club, Cole. Welcome to the club.
Scooch over.
There's room in here for you.
Scooch over. Let me get a seat on that bench. Zechariah Poyser from Jacksonville State, the mighty Gamecocks.
Like him.
Yeah,
safety, 6'2", 1. He's definitely not 160 now.
No, he's 190. He's listed on Jacksonville State's. Keith Niebuhr dropped in, and his agent is Vernell Brown.
Yep.
Yes.
Who his son, Vernell Brown Jr., I think, or the third, is currently going to Florida. Just signed with Florida. So Florida might be interested. They may be the one to beat there, if I had to guess. LSU also going to get a visit from Poison.
Yeah.
So if you're a DB getting offered by Auburn, Florida, and LSU, I don't know if there's 3 better schools for DBs in the NFL right now.
Well, and he's got a lot of versatility. He's got snaps at both safety position and has played in the nickel, so he gives you a lot of portability in the back end to kind of shift him around and find your best 5 on the back end.
Joining those 4 on Thursdays, Bauer Sharp. We talked about him, the tight end from Oklahoma. Very high target. I think he went to LSU Monday and Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, coming to Auburn on Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry, on Thursday. Is that right?
Yes, I think he was Tuesday, Wednesday. LSU will be at Auburn Thursday, Friday.
Those are all your Thursday guys there.
Yes.
Yeah. These are Thursday, and then we've got 2 guys right now coming in on Friday. Phoenix Jackson, the linebacker from
Fresno State.
State. Wendell Moe coming in from Arizona. And then that next Monday, you've got Ahmad Hardy coming in, scheduled to. And then, of course, Horatio Fields, wide receiver from Wake Forest, who's a taller guy.
Pure outside wide receiver.
Yep.
Gives you some productivity on that. I mean, because other than Perry Thompson at this point, who do you have that's a proven guy on the outside? And Perry's not proven by any means. So you got to bring in somebody for some level of competition out there at that position.
But you've got to like what Auburn is doing on Wednesday and Thursday by bringing these guys in. You got the Wednesday guys, you got the Thursday guys. Really excited to see where things stand when we come back and do this show next week, because I would expect several commitments, signings.
I agree.
I do.
Yeah, it felt like commitments, and maybe it was because of the way Auburn was doing things. I don't know. They drug a little bit last year in that early cycle.
Mm-hmm.
guys took multiple visits before making a decision. And then I posted a note on the quarterback as far as kind of my projection of where I thought quarterback targets would land. And I thought that the quarterback position might take a little longer to play out. It might take a week or two before you get that quarterback in the class, just because I think those guys are very thorough about what. I don't think they just make a snap decision. Do you remember how long it took Cam Ward? I mean, look, he declared for the NFL and then decided to go to Miami.
Wow.
And then everybody else was kind of seated behind him, and they all kind of fell into place after that because he set the market. I anticipate something similar. Does Auburn try to set the market? Is it Miami who's in the need for a starter? There's multiple teams out there looking for a quarterback. Is it Mississippi State? Do they set the mark? Because all of these guys have agents now, right? And they're looking at this like, if he's getting X, well, damn, I know I should get this, right? And so it changes the calculus to a degree. So anybody that thinks that Malik Murphy's just going to come in for a visit and then all of a sudden he's going to be signed to Auburn 2 days from now, I don't think that's how this works. I think it's going to be a little bit thorough and more drawn out than that. But maybe I'm wrong. Look, it's one man's opinion, right?
I hear you.
Let me ask y'all, by the time we get to next Wednesday morning, a week from today, as you're watching this, do you think we'll have a much clearer picture of the quarterback deal, or is it still going to be very murky?
I think that depends on two things. Where Malik Murphy stands on Auburn's board. Is he the guy? Is he the QB1? Are they waiting on someone else? Are they waiting on the playoffs? Or I think there's a lot of factors. Like Alan said, listen, if Malik Murphy's the guy and Auburn's the right school for Malik Murphy, it's a done deal.
Right.
We're talking about what Malik Murphy's doing and when Ashton Daniels is going to make his decision. If that's not if that doesn't hold true, because I think Malik Murphy was also visiting
Miami. And if you're talking about system fits, he's, in my opinion, a better system fit at Miami than he is at Auburn. Now, I think Auburn's got better weapons because I believe Miami lost both of their impact wide receivers on the outside and their starting running back. So a little bit better situation at Auburn, but that doesn't mean anything. In this landscape, a lot of things can change very quickly once you get your quarterback in place. But I'm with you, Jeffrey. So to me, it depends on a couple of things, right? How much pressure does Hugh Freeze feel to get a quarterback in this class right now to kind of build everything? Does he have the wherewithal to kind of wait if he's not necessarily sold on Malik and or
Jackson Arnold?
Yeah, or Jackson Arnold, because those are the two right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Jackson Arnold's going to wait. I think he's going to come in. He's going to visit Auburn.
That's right.
And I think he's got a very good situation at Mississippi State. And if Auburn's not ready to take him or push for him, I feel like he could go there pretty quickly.
And he will visit. He is scheduled to visit Mississippi State, I believe, Friday and Saturday.
That's
after
correct.
leaving Auburn. All right, fellas, let's get some how about yous, and then we'll wrap it up. I've got 3, man, and these were earned outside of the message board. I haven't any. I just I'll tell you what. How about you? The Book of Mormont. Met him Sunday morning.
He's from my neck of the woods.
Is he?
He is.
Good fella. Liked him a lot. Book of Mormont. How about you, big dog? How about you to A. Byers WDE on becoming a father, newborn? How about you? And how about you to River Runt 33 and his son Finn? I don't know if y'all saw Finn's take on Auburn or whatever it was. His son did a podcast for the communications department, I believe, broadcast class. Did really a fantastic job. Yeah, I did too, man. How about you to Finn, the son of River Runt 33?
I'll go next. I got y'all tripping for the Kenyatta Hunter's Hunt post. The response by y'all tripping is, does someone have the Hispanic Fred Deer pick? Should reply to him with that and say, I agree, big dog.
Hunter's Hunt.
Hunter's Hunt, baby. And then Big Sexy for AU. When somebody was asking, is this person a tier 1 quarterback target? Big Sexy responds, if Justin Hokanson hasn't deleted the thread, he's probably not. That was good.
Man.
That was good.
That's good stuff. All right. I think I have 5. Harvey Specter.
Good one.
Yep, Harvey Specter. PEJ WDE 94. PEJ WDE 94. Words of encouragement. Same for Nova Tiger 256. Good dudes. Appreciate them. This is one I never thought I would give out, and I'm doing it. August West gets a how about you for me. You may know him formerly as All the Meat for Free.
Oh,
yeah.
Me and him had a little talk.
You did?
We did.
He's always been hit or miss, but when he misses hard, son.
He does, but look, he keeps it real, and I appreciate that.
His hits are good too, but man, his misses are bad.
Talked with him. You know what? He's a good dude. He's a solid dude. So August West, enjoyed our chat, man. I'm giving you one for sure. Actually, that's it. Just 4.
Just close it off on August West.
Dude,
listen. Go back to All the Meat for Free, right? Dude, I remember giving him how about yous like left and right.
Yeah,
maybe a year ago. Like he was a great poster. All of a sudden, I don't know if Jerry died or if Widespread Panic quit touring or what, but dude just fell off the wagon. He was
okay. I know who my last one was, Jeffrey.
All right.
Y'all leave AU Noel alone, man.
Oh,
I said something for him last week.
This is back to back.
Yeah,
I'm giving AU Noel one. I like AU Noel. He's taking the heat off of Don on getting messed with on the board. Y'all leave him alone, man. Oh man, I love AU Noel. Thank you, golly.
Oh gosh. All right, let's wrap it up there one more time for Roback. Y'all go check them out. 20% off on all for all new customers through the end of the week. RHOBOCK.com. 20% off for all performance polos, shirts, and more with code Auburn20. Cole, what was that promo for Game Time?
That'd be on 3. ON3. You may be familiar with that term.
GameTime.co.
Yeah,
I think
$20 off on 3.
Go check them out, man. We'll be back Sunday night for the call-in show. Hopefully, talking some more transfer portal stuff. Maybe some who got hot on the portal. Hopefully, it's Auburn. We'll know a lot more. I'm guaranteeing it by the end of the day on Sunday. That's going to do it, folks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, man. For Cole, for Alan, for Zach in the back who stayed in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay that left lane. See ya.